Welcome to my recap of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch. This is a standalone story which has nothing to do with Halloween 1 or 2, so don't worry if you haven't seen those. After the recap, if you want to hear my review of the movie, check out the link in the description. For now, grab a bowl of your favorite Halloween candy, sit back, and enjoy the recap. On the night of October 23rd in Northern California, Harry Grimbridge runs from pursuers dressed in suits and ties. While Harry runs, they follow calmly and methodically. He is nearly strangled by one but manages to escape. At a nearby gas station, its attendant watches a news report about the recent theft of one of the 19 stones from Stonehenge. At the commercial break, an advertisement for Silver Shamrock plays, showing off their new masks and announcing only 8 more days until Halloween.
8 more days to Halloween, Halloween, Halloween. 8 more days to Halloween, Silver Shamrock.
Lightning knocks out the power, and moments later, an exhausted Harry collapses into the gas station. He clutches a Silver Shamrock mask and whispers, "They're coming," before passing out. Then, the attendant drives him to the hospital. Elsewhere, Dan Chalice arrives at his ex-wife Linda's house and greets his 2 children, while she eyes him warily. He tries gifting the kids Halloween masks only to find their mother already bought them a couple Silver Shamrock masks. They sing the jingle from the commercial,
Halloween, Halloween, Halloween.
Until Linda quiets them, and they sit to watch the commercial again. Dan leaves when he's called to the hospital where Harry's been dropped off. The man seems unconscious until he hears the Silver Shamrock commercial play on a nearby TV. He opens his eyes and painfully whispers, "They're going to kill us. All of us." Later, Dan flirts with the nurse, Agnes, while one of the men in suits arrives and kills Harry with his bare hands. Agnes shouts for Dan when she finds the dead man and his killer. Dan arrives just in time to watch the assailant get in his car and set himself on fire. Dan calls Linda to tell her that he won't be able to pick up the kids as planned. This isn't the first time he's done this, and she's frustrated but agrees to reschedule. The next day, Harry's daughter Ellie arrives to confirm the body is her father's. Afterward, Dan finds her crying in the hallway and they share a look. At the coroner's office, he flirts with Teddy and begs her to handle the case personally. He's determined to figure out what really happened and only trusts her to do the job right. She agrees and gives him a kiss as he leaves. On October 29th, Dan heads to a bar and sees the commercial again, announcing only 2 more days until Halloween.
2 more days to
Come on.
Halloween.
What's the matter? Don't you have any Halloween spirit?
Then Ellie finds him there and asks if her father said anything before he died, and Dan reveals he did. He said, "They're gonna kill us all." She takes him to her father's store and shows Dan his logs. Harry was scheduled to pick up more masks on October 20th, but missed all his appointments after that. So she wants to go to Santa Mira, where they make the masks, to investigate what kind of trouble he ran into. Dan looks at the girl, smiles, and calls his ex-wife to say he can't pick up the kids as promised. Then he grabs his 6-pack of Millers and leaves with Ellie. On the way, they read a little about the town. Santa Mira was founded as a farming community in 1887, but after World War II, wealthy Irishman Connell Cochran converted the dairy into the Silver Shamrock toy factory. As they drive in, they are watched by the townsfolk, some shadowy figures, and cameras. They head to a motel and pose as husband and wife to get a room. While their host shows Ellie around, Dan snoops in the main office and learns that Ellie's father stayed at the motel before he was killed. On his way back, Dan bumps into the Kupfer family. He is also almost run over by a woman who seems upset.
Damn factory! Got their orders all screwed up and have to stay in this dump again.
When he returns, Ellie excitedly says they should head straight to the factory, and Dan tells her to slow down. It's getting late. They should have a drink. He offers to get another room so it won't be awkward. After all, it'd be more comfortable than sleeping on the floor or in the car. She coyly asks where he wants to sleep, and he tells her that's a dumb question. Then they kiss. Outside, speakers announce that it's time for the 6 o'clock curfew, and throughout the town, doors close. That night, Dan heads out for some liquor and bumps into a homeless man. The man tells Dan that Cochran is always watching with the cameras around town, and he's heard rumors about strange things at the factory. Tonight, he's going to get some Molotov cocktails and burn down the factory.
Hey, Cochran! Fuck you!
Ooh, shh, easy.
It's all right, don't matter to me.
After the man leaves Dan, his head is promptly torn off by one of the men in suits. Back at the motel, Ellie bumps into the woman that almost hit Dan with her car. She's a small business owner stopping in town to pick up some more masks, though complains that the silver shamrock medallion fell off one of them. That night, she turns it over and sees a computer chip. When she pokes at it, a laser shoots into her mouth and explodes her face open. Below her blood-red eyes and out of the grotesque opening crawls a spider. Meanwhile, in the other room, Dan and Ellie consummate their makeshift marriage. Afterward, Dan is disturbed by the commercial he's heard so many times before, now playing on the radio and warning 2 more days until Halloween.
I don't believe this commercial. It never stops.
Now awake, Ellie tries to begin another round of lovemaking, but like a gentleman, Dan says,
Wait a minute. How old are you?
Later, they're woken up by the arrival of a silver shamrock truck, and outside see men in white lab coats loading their neighbor into it. Mr. Cochran arrives and assures the woman will be fine. As Cochran leaves, Dan and Ellie overhear him ask, "What happened?" and one of his men answer, "Misfire." After a sleepless night, Dan calls Teddy to get an update on her autopsy of the murderer. Strangely, in the man's ashes, she's found no human remains, only metal and plastic. Later that morning, Dan and Ellie head to the Silver Shamrock factory to snoop around, where they bump into the Kupfer family. Cochran congratulates Buddy on selling the most Silver Shamrock masks of anyone in the country. He invites the family for a tour of the factory, and Buddy asks if his new friends can come along, so Dan and Ellie follow. They see the entire mask-making process, except for one crucial step that's kept behind closed doors: final processing. When Dan notices strange men who resemble Harry's killer watching them, he insists they leave. But on the way out, Ellie draws attention by shouting when she spots her father's car. When the men block her path to it, Ellie returns to Dan and they leave. At the motel, they decide to bring in the authorities and leave town. Ellie packs while Dan heads out to call the police and leaves the door to their room open. In the motel office, Dan's call to the police is met with a "Your call cannot be completed as dialed." And just then, the commercial comes on.
One more day to Halloween.
Back at the room, he finds Ellie gone and outside 5 of the mystery men marching toward him. He escapes out the back window and sees more of the men bringing Ellie into the factory. He tries calling for help through a payphone, but it too is disabled. Dan sneaks into the factory and encounters one of Cochran's men, who he finds to be inhumanly strong. The guard tries to strangle him, but Dan manages to plunge a fist into the man's torso and pull out some wires, revealing Cochran's men to be robots. 2 more robot guards grab Dan and force him to attend another of Cochran's tours. The sun rises and the day turns to October 31st, Halloween. Behind the final processing door, Cochran shows Dan a large stone stolen from Stonehenge. It contains a power which can be found even in just a particle of it, one of which is placed in the chip found on every Silver Shamrock mask. On a small TV, he shows Dan where Ellie is being kept strapped to a table, and then plays a demonstration for him, showing live camera footage from another room. He sees the Kupfer family in a makeshift living room, where their son stares at a television. In the processing room, Cochran asks one of the men to roll it, and Dan watches him press a set of buttons on a keyboard. In the other room, the final form of the commercial plays, saying, it's time for the big giveaway. And, all you lucky kids with Silver Shamrock masks, gather around your TV set, put on your masks, and watch. The screen flashes the image of a jack-o'-lantern. The boy grabs his face and falls to the ground. From the new cavern in his face, bugs and snakes crawl out to fill the room. Around the country, children wear their silver shamrock masks while TVs remind them of the big giveaway only hours away. "Hurry home, it's almost time," the commercial warns. And Dan's own children watch while bobbing their heads to the catchy tune. At the hospital, Teddy studies the mechanical remains and seemingly has a realization, just as one of Cochran's men kills her. At the factory, Cochran ties Dan to a chair and tells him why he's put his grotesque plan in motion. Halloween began as the festival of Samhain and was celebrated with the sacrifice of animals and children. It's been 3,000 years since the last great one took place, and with the planets aligned tonight, it is time for another. Cochran puts a mask over Dan's face and turns on the TV so he won't miss the big giveaway in just over an hour. Left alone, Dan kicks the TV and uses a shard of glass from it to escape his restraints. He crawls through the vents and gets to a phone where he calls his ex-wife. He begs her to take the masks away from their children, but she tells him to go to hell and hangs up. He gets to Ellie and frees her. As they snoop, Dan finds a box of medallions. He sneaks to a terminal and enters the key pattern he saw earlier, prompting the commercial to play on the TVs around Cochran and his robot guards. As it plays, Dan dumps the box over them. The medallions simultaneously activate and destroy the machines. The large stone emits a power, surrounding Cochran in blue light. The defeated man looks up and quietly applauds Dan. As Dan and Ellie run, Cochran is zapped. He turns white and stone-like, then fades away. The Stonehenge stone sparks, catching on nearby equipment and materials. Dan and Ellie escape as the warehouse goes up in flames. In the car, he tells Ellie that they've got to do something or call somebody. The big giveaway is still set to air at 9. Suddenly, she attacks him, and Dan learns she's been replaced with one of Cochran's machines. In the struggle, he crashes the car, but manages to destroy her and escape. Dan runs to the gas station where he frantically makes a phone call. Less than a minute remains until 9. The nearby TV plays the ominous jingle.
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy.
If it goes out, it means the death of millions of people, everyone watching. Don't you understand that?
Dan begs them to take it off the air.
You've got to believe me, believe me. Take it off the air now, please.
2 children enter the gas station and watch the TV while wearing their silver shamrock masks. Suddenly, the commercial stops. The children switch to another station where the commercial is still playing. It too is interrupted by technical difficulties. The child switches to the final station playing the ad. A jack-o'-lantern begins flashing on the screen, while Dan begs them to take down the 3rd commercial. "For God's sake, please stop it! There's no more time!" Dan begs. "Stop it!" he shouts. The commercial continues to play while Dan continues shouting.
Stop it! Stop it!
Thank you for watching my recap, and yes, that is the end of the movie. So, did Dan succeed in stopping the final commercial before it was too late? If you're dying to know, the novelization of the movie actually ends unambiguously, saying that Dan ultimately failed. The final words of the book describe the screaming of children throughout the country. On the other hand, Tom Atkins, the star of the movie, feels differently. When asked at a horror convention if he successfully stopped the commercial, Tom said this: "You bet your sweet ass I did. Absolutely. I know it was a little vague there in the end, but I know what happened." So pick whichever ending you enjoy more. And if you want to hear my thoughts on the movie, click the card in the upper right corner for my review. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more. With that, thank you for watching, and see you on the next One Take.